Hello, my name is Michael. I wrote a memoir entitled My Journey from Anger to Empathy. This video describes the most valuable part of my journey, which is how I overcame the toxic habit that blocks empathy and provokes anger in relationships. Many years ago, I realized that anger was harming some of my most important relationships, but no matter how hard I tried, I was unable to control this anger. So I began reading self-help books, and later I added anger management therapy. But neither the self-help books nor the therapy sessions provided a solution to my anger. Eventually, I began seriously reading ancient philosophy and the latest human behavior studies. After years of this research, I awoke one morning with a clear understanding of the source of my anger. It is an insidious habit commonly expressed in varying degrees by people throughout the world. It is my sense that because this habit is so common, many of us are blind to just how much of this habit we hold and express, and how harmful it is to our emotional well-being and relationships. Fortunately, just by becoming fully aware of this habit and its toxic harm, I was finally able, with the help of empathy, to eliminate my relationship anger. This toxic habit is judgmentalism. More information regarding this habit is provided later in this talk, but first I will describe my understanding of empathy. The ability to express empathy is inherent in virtually every person at birth, but because of several definitions for empathy, there is some ambiguity regarding its nature. Unfortunately, this ambiguity has hindered many people from knowing and expressing the full potential of their innate empathy. I put the various definitions of empathy into two categories: intellectual empathy and emotional empathy. There's a huge difference between them. Intellectual empathy relates to a person's difficult situation by imagining being in their shoes. This kind of empathy has a significant deficiency. When intellectually imagining another person's situation, there is little or no expression of connective emotion. Interpersonal communication that is without connective emotion is inherently superficial and often of little value. In contrast, emotional empathy embodies the nurturing attributes of the iconic mother figure that loves her children unconditionally. No matter how extreme their behavior, the iconic mother's emotional connection to her children is unwavering and lifelong. So emotionally empathetic individuals do not imagine the plight of others. Rather, they embrace people in difficult situations with unconditional emotional empathy. Often when a person receives the compassion in this quality of empathy, there is an almost instant reduction of their emotional suffering. I consider emotional empathy and unconditional love as being the same. Now I will describe the opposite of emotional empathy, which is judgmentalism, the toxic habit of subjectively judging people as being any degree of bad. This kind of judging is manifested when not experiencing people and their behavior as being separate. In other words, when judgmentalism is expressed at a person, not only is that person's behavior judged as being bad, but the person is also judged as bad. And it is the conscious and unconscious judging of a person as being any degree of bad that encourages the expression of blame and anger. From my studies and experience, I learned that my expressions of anger in relationships were only possible when I judged and blamed. When I stopped judging, I automatically stopped expressing anger. The foundation of this very effective path to creating harmonious relationships is summarized by two ancient wisdoms I learned as a child, but never thought of them as practical until now. I'll paraphrase them. Judge not, and love everyone, even your enemies. These wisdoms are important to me because they eloquently identify what I believe is absolutely essential in order to receive life's greatest gift, which is the ability to express unconditional love to everyone, without exception. Nothing else I do gives me as much pleasure. When expressing emotional empathy, I'm totally free of the pain and suffering created by my former judgmentalism. This gift also blesses me by increasing my experience with serenity and joyful laughter. I really enjoy laughing. Thank you so much for listening to my story. To learn more about overcoming anger with empathy, please visit our website at FromAngerToEmpathyFoundation.org.